Sam, thank you very much, and thank everybody here for coming today. A very exciting day for the Hornets, of course, exciting for LaMelo as well. For the last several years, one of our stated position with this organization would be to try to build a team primarily through the draft. Okay, that's not to say that we can't do it via trade and free agency, but primarily through the draft, that we could build a team that's sustainable and not only make the playoffs, but advance in the playoffs. Okay, we're not trying to hurry the process, and certainly we don't want to slow it down, but it is our position that that's how we're going to build this team. I think we're very close to being a team that could be a playoff team. Of course, I have my goals, and I know LaMelo has his goals, but I think we're pretty close. I like our young players, I like our veterans. And of course, the cornerstone for this team going forward, for the X number of years is LaMelo Ball. So I can't say how excited we are today to make the announcement and to have, I guess, the official press conference for LaMelo. Sam, you mentioned a lot of the things that I was going to say as far as the first player and all-star. And so it's all good stuff, and today's a great day. So congratulations. And at this point,
on me. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you.
And pretty much, I just want to say thank all y'all for being here. Y'all all got my back, I feel like, and I pretty much want to have y'all back. So it's just a blessing, and pretty much, yeah, thank y'all. Love y'all, man. Let's keep going.
Hey, LaMelo, congratulations. Steve Reed from the Associated Press. Can you just talk about the decision of why you wanted to come back here, why you wanted to sign this contract extension to stay here in Charlotte?
The decision, it wasn't really hard. I mean, all my years here, I had a good time. Life wasn't bad. The basketball aspect, if that's not really going well, you kind of want to, live your life and just have fun and, just be living well. So in Charlotte, I was doing that, so it just all felt like a great choice, and I just made it pretty much.
LaMelo, congratulations. Questions for Mitch. You talked a little bit on your opening statement, but just what kind of testament is this to the organization that you were able to draft a player with a third overall pick, develop him, and then get to this point where you can sign him to an extension in just 3 or 4 years or so?
Well, as Sam mentioned, it's the first time it's happened, in the organization's history. And, to have a player of LaMelo's caliber, with his age, his youth, we know he's going to get better as a player. He's here every day. Certainly had a setback this past year, right? But, he's been, in terms of, healing, he's been 100% healed, and he's been on the court, working out every single day, trying to get better. So to have a young player who's, of course, made the All-Star team, we have not had great success as a team, which is something that, will change. That's our stated goal. But to have a player like him back with us, choose to come back to us, it's exciting, and I would hope that's exciting for the city of Charlotte.
LaMelo, here in the middle, Will Pelagic from WFNZ. You had said previously that you wanted to become kind of a larger role in this organization. How much of that did you kind of use this offseason? You were kind of at some of the workouts for the draft picks and kind of more of a presence in the organization. How much of that have you kind of taken under your wing and been a part kind of more in Charlotte with this team?
Yeah, like I said, where we at, I feel like we all growing together, so I think it's just a great position, and I feel like we're going the right way now.
And in terms of what this contract means, how much of that kind of puts a responsibility on your back to get this thing turned around, and talk about some of the things that Mitch Kupchak said about, not only getting into the playoffs, but advancing in the playoffs?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from the day I got here, I felt like that, but even now, I mean, it's definitely more of a role, so it's coming in every day, getting better, just bringing the whole team around, everybody getting better and having the main goal, so that's what we're going to try to do.
LaMelo, Ashley Starline with NBC Charlotte. Brandon Miller told me draft night that you came to his workout. You guys had a good relationship. He said, LaMelo and I are very similar in the fact we both love basketball and cars. He says he hopes that you'll let him drive one of his cars eventually. But what does it mean to kind of have him join this team, and what's your relationship been like so far? And will you let him drive a car?
Driving the cars, yeah, I don't know about that. My family and everybody, they know how I get. I think I got it from my pops. We don't really let nobody drive the cars. But yeah, definitely Brandon, having him is great. You know, it's like a little brother, definitely cool. I think he's a great player too, you know, 6'9", handle the ball, can move. So I feel like he's just gonna fit in perfect. It's gonna be a great match.
Hey, Melo Rod from Charlotte Observer. Just wondering, with Miles Bridges back, obviously it's one of your, BFFs. Having him back now, what's that like, knowing that you guys are going to be able to be out there in the court again once more?
Oh yeah, great vibes. I mean, we got MB back, so that was big. Hopefully we just make the most of it this year and then just show everybody.
And then you talked about wanting to be here to see things kind of turn around, get to the playoffs. Just how much are you driven by that to make this franchise a perennial winner as opposed to what's been happening the last few years?
Right. I mean, the goal is always just winning. So whatever you do, you just want to win. So just coming in and playing, I obviously just want to go to the top. It starts with the playoffs, baby steps and stuff like that. So we just go keep moving and just try our best, get to all that and do the most we can.
Mitch, in terms of with this contract now, some might say that this puts a clock on the franchise's progress, knowing that you have LaMelo for a certain amount of time. You say you don't want to speed up the process, but how much of this puts the onus on you to make sure that this is built around LaMelo the right way to get to that level by the time this contract's up?
Yeah, when I say you don't want to speed up, you don't want to get ahead of the curve and make a decision that might, or might not help you win a game this year, but actually when the season's over, it sets you back 3 or 4 years, right? We're trying to go as fast as we possibly can. So I think that, we are in a good position. I think we can be a playoff team this year. I'm not necessarily feeling that we have to add, a lot more talent. I think the talent is in the system. We're not the oldest team, so perhaps, you'd look for a veteran, to give some more leadership. But I think our coach provides a lot of leadership. But I think the talent that we need to get to where we want to go is already in the system. Now it's just going to take a little time, to get everybody up to speed and, get to where we want to get to. But I don't think there's a major area that needs to be addressed. Maybe you can use a backup ball handling guard or something like that. But I think what we need is in the system.
LaMelo, I wonder if you could take us through how Mitch has kind of given us an injury update about how are you feeling? Are you 100%? And also, talking about last season, how frustrating was that to go through, and how much does that motivate you moving ahead?
Definitely frustrating, with any injuries, but motivation a lot just to get back on the court and just do what I love. And then with the injury, the doc said I'm 100, so yeah, just on the court now and just baby steps, getting everything back to where it was and just trying to tune everything up.
Mitch, you mentioned the roster and trying to get that going, I guess, right about now. You have a couple of guys out there who still you haven't signed. Just where do things stand once you trying to finish the roster as you guys move forward here?
Yeah, I mean, this press conference is about LaMelo, so I don't want to, branch off. Yes, we still have some work to do. We're not done with our summer. It's not time to go on vacation. But as I said, I'm very comfortable, with the talent that's on this team. I think we're in a good spot.
Hey, LaMelo, Mike Solarte, Spectrum News 1. Congratulations on the deal. The part that goes with a lot of the fans out there that you say have your back, there are those that don't. And they'll say, wow, he's got this big contract. There's got to be pressure for him to produce. How do you respond to that about having some pressure, being essentially the face of this franchise moving forward?
I never really worried about that type of stuff. Like growing up, my pops always said pressure was like finding your next meal, finding where to sleep, stuff like that. So I'm pretty much blessed. I just got to worry about playing good. It really no problem. So yeah, I'm straight.
Mitch, obviously having LaMelo is a benefit in itself on the court, but do you feel like having him kind of here for the foreseeable future, does that make Charlotte, or hopefully makes this organization a more desirable place for free agents and also for other players to extend their careers, knowing that you kind of have one of these main core pieces in place long term?
Well, what's going to make Charlotte more desirable? You know, as much as I like LaMelo, he's not going to be the primary reason, you know, why Charlotte is more desirable. I think we would both admit if we win games and we become a winning organization, then you'll see that players, you know, will want to be drafted by Charlotte. They'll want to be traded to Charlotte. And when they're free agents, they'll want to come to Charlotte. So, yes, LaMelo is a big part of that. As I mentioned earlier, he's our cornerstone. But winning will solve all those other problems.
Hey, LaMelo, Luke Schwartz, QC News. I was just curious, if you had to pick, what's the #1 trait to have in being a successful player in the NBA?
#1 trait to have, pretty much, I just say your mind, have your mind right.
Hey, LaMelo, I wonder if I can get your take on what you see with this roster right now. We got Mitch's take, but how do you feel about this roster and this team moving forward, and what the expectation should be?
You know, I feel great. Everything Mitch is saying, I'm right there with him. Like I said, he got my back. I feel like I got his back. So exactly what he said, I'm right there with it.
All right. Thank you all again. LaMelo, Mitch, thank you both for your time. Congratulations. And thanks once more, everyone, for being here today at Spectrum Center.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me, man.